What's going on, guys? I played the perfect AoE 2 game for you to demonstrate why you never ever resign early in a game of Age of Empires, especially if you're mid-level elo like myself. And not just that, but our opponent went above and beyond to demonstrate how the town bell might just be the worst button ever invented. If you want to see that and more, just sit back and enjoy. Okay, so here we go, playing as the Aztecs in red against Wind 0922 as the Huns. And this is not a new Porsche model, no, that is his actual name. In any case, we're playing Arabia 1v1, the classic ranked ladder match. And as the Aztecs, obviously we have options. We can go infantry, we can go eagle, we can go monks, we can go archers. I'd say these are the main things. Cavalry, obviously not an option. Yeah, we'll see what we're going to do here. We're going to see a fairly standard and I think fairly well played Dark Age. On the other side, for the Huns, we have an absolute cavalry civilization. So it's going to be scouts probably, or archers. In terms of archers, the best options is obviously to transition these into cavalry archers. So we'll see what he does on that front. Regarding the map, it's, as I said, Arabia, but it's pretty hilly. Like, it's going to be tough to place secondary town centers here, for both of us actually. And besides that, it's also very, very open. Like, the front on his base is a lot worse than mine. At least I have that one wood line, but yeah, it's proper open here. Nothing much he can do in terms of walling, and he is Huns, so hopefully his mobility will help him out here. In terms of elo, after the match I realized that the guy is slightly below my elo, I think about 1080, something like that, and I am 1140 at this point. So slight discrepancy there, but overall he plays pretty well, but just to flag, there might be a few minor imperfections in his Dark Age. We're gonna fast forward here a bit, because nothing much is happening in this Dark Age. It looks pretty solid on both sides. His luring could be optimized a little bit probably. But yeah, don't hurt yourself with these 4 times speed. Yeah, that's what I mean with the luring. Slightly off there, but overall a reasonable Dark Age. On my side, also a minor mistake here probably. I forgot the 3rd house. I didn't actually get housed, I just threw in a bit of loom there. Expert tip for you. I'm not sure it's an expert tip, but anyway, that's what I do when I realize I'm about to get housed and can't throw down the house in time. Here I get my second guy in, and yeah, this is pretty good. Like I do manage fairly consistently now to also lure zebras and deer and all that, but look at this, look at this process. This zebra is like, what the fuck? There's a guy dressed up as an eagle. Like he's wearing an eagle cap actually, and like feathers. The dude thinks he's an eagle, and he keeps sniffing up my rear end. I keep going away, but he keeps chasing me. This sounds like a police report or something. Like he keeps coming. I'm like, what the fuck? And yeah, this is really uncomfortable. Running for safety here in the village. Like yeah, maybe these guys are less weird. At least they're half naked, but maybe they're at least not gonna sniff me up. So maybe they can help. Hey, what the f? There's a dead zebra. This might have been a bad decision. Anyway, F in the chat for respect. So this is all done here, as I said, standard Dark Age. We lured 2 zebras, which I'm fairly happy with, and yeah, looking sharp so far, I think. So I should mention on strategy. I mentioned it very briefly. Mine here is going to be an all-in eagle push. Look at this wood line. The wood line is atrocious, though. Before I get into strategy, that's an atrocious wood line in the back there. But there's not much else we can do. The forward wood line is also very exposed, and I am expecting early pressure from him. So that's why we're keeping it to that. Anyway, in terms of strategy, I have committed here to create 1 single unit and 1 unit only, and you can guess it. It is gonna be eagles. Eagle warrior. The weirdly dressed up guys. Reason being that they can be super strong once you get all the upgrades on them. Until then, it's a bit tricky, and we're gonna see in this matchup how that materializes actually. But yeah, otherwise, if you invest all the upgrades and go with a single-minded focus on them, I think they can be pretty strong. So that's what we're trying to do here. Also because our other options like you know, monks can be countered by his scouts, our archers can be easily countered by his skirmishers, and he might have the mobility advantage that's going to hurt us if he goes for cav archers or knights. So eagles are probably the fastest unit we can get in the field. Looking on his side, again, looks fairly standard. He did go for 22 pop, probably a bit much if he's attempting any type of Feudal Age pressure. He's going to be a bit late to that. And there are a few mistakes that are materializing. So we already spoke about his luring. We can see some carcasses away from the town center there. And also the fact that he focuses both of his lumber camps on just one side is a bit odd. And then the third thing I would probably add here is that his barracks are a bit late. We just saw that before I skipped. He needs to have those earlier so that he can immediately put down a stable. Oh, there we go.
Dear viewers, this is Quality Control intervening. I felt it necessary to mention that our opponent might actually be going for some sort of faster castle here, making his build order a lot more reasonable. Also, the barracks here would have come up just in time if my eagle hadn't bothered him. So really, not all that bad. But now, back to the live commentary.
That I don't have to expect an immediate scout rush, because he's a bit late to it. But there we go, the barracks go up. He doesn't have the immediate wood to follow it up with a stable or something else. So a bit of walking around here, just going for a walk, spending the time, and there we go. He drops something. Is that a spear? What? Why would he be producing a spearman? I'm Aztecs. What does he think I'm coming with? Look at him, all proud, protecting his villages from absolutely nothing. Yeah, good on you. And he has a buddy. Look at them. Like I don't know. What is this? Like the man in black. Just in turquoise. Or teal. I'm not good with my colors. Okay, here comes the lady. Oh yeah, this lady is hilarious. Look at this. If you've ever thought pathing was rubbish, look at this. Now there's a very slim chance that our opponent actually made her do that little victory lap. Or whatever that was. But I'm just gonna blame pathing here. And this is pretty good, right? This is pretty good. Nice little victory lap. So he's actually going for archers here. Which is a bit surprising. I would have thought on such an open map he's going for more control with a bit of mobility, but okay. Element of surprise, that's pretty good. For me, however, he's already kind of seen that I have eagles and a barracks, so I'm not sure what he's expecting. And he should know at least that he's a bit late as well. So I'm not sure archers is the best choice to go with here. Anyway, we put a bit of pressure here. I think we get a kill. And obviously push him off his berries, which creates some nice idle eco time. By the way, I should have mentioned in Dark Age, if you look at the bottom right, I don't know if your sharp eyes caught it, but I spoke about it quite a lot in the last video. Idle eco time, again, was around 130, and I always thought that was something to correct. However, to keep in mind, if you kill a boar, that takes about 30 seconds of idle eco time, because you are garrisoning 6 villages to two-shoot the bear. Two-shot the bear, basically. Two-shoot. You know what I mean. 2 shots. Focus. Alright, moving on. And this is going to be a theme of his playstyle. He always very obsessively chases after my army into the wrong directions. So, again, I'm not sure what he's trying to do. He is kind of chasing my spearmen. But I don't know for what reason. Like, he could be using that army to put some pressure at the front. Which he doesn't do. Instead, he runs after one spearman, which is not going to do any damage, because I don't think he has his scout anymore at this point anyway. Maybe he does actually, I don't know. But yeah, this spearman is no danger. He should be using that army for other things. So that's a bit bizarre. Meanwhile, I'll put a few houses down, because I obviously know he has the archers in the field. Just to be safe, and maybe at least make sure that the attacks only come from one direction. Right, since he hasn't come forward really, we continue to do the same thing with our eagles here. Why not? And yeah, again, he commits with a lot of archers just to defend a few eagles. This is good for us ultimately, because it means he can't put pressure on us. That said, well done him chasing me all the way. This is a common thing that I sometimes don't do very well. Once I've defended, I don't immediately push forward. But he does it, which is great. And I think, again, remembering what I said at the beginning about eagles not being very strong at the beginning, but then getting much stronger and faster than other units with the upgrades, of which there are plenty for Aztecs, by the way, we'll get into that later, it's very important. And so I don't really want to pick fights at the beginning with his archers. So what I choose to do here instead is loop around with my eagles to hopefully do some damage, and kind of trying to manage at home with garrisoning and putting up a few house walls. I also know he's going to hit the wood line at the top eventually, so I already moved these villages. There's no good reason to wait. Let's see, this guy, yeah, he gets one hit in, but didn't even hurt, didn't even bruise him. And meanwhile, again, we're here. And look at that, the spearmen doing God's work. Finally, they have a purpose. There we go. Little meat shield. I think I get like 1 kill or a couple of kills, but I also lose 2 eagles, so not too great. Meanwhile, on my side, I make a small mistake here, and this continues to be a theme as well. I kind of senselessly send my eagles into his army, and it doesn't do me much good. This is a bit of a problem now, right? Like, his push is a lot more scary than mine, just because he can keep me off my my gold here. My other 2 golds are forward. You can see one there on the right-hand side. And also my wood line at the front is super exposed. So again, we're trying to buy some time by sending in and out some eagles. And this is a really interesting one. I don't know why he doesn't commit here. I think he can 3-shot my eagles at this point. Especially if he uses all his army. But he chooses not to. A bit bizarre. And also he could have easily dived into my wood line there. Now, I was debating at that point whether to put down tower already, just for defense, but I decided not to since I had the other wood line. But we'll see, a tower is gonna come later. Foreshadowing. That's not even foreshadowing, that's just straight up spoiler. Anyway, we keep going. And again, he's being a bit passive here. Not sure what he's waiting for, now he goes for it. Weirdly enough, back at home he has another 5 archers. No idea what those are for. Maybe again, he's just being conservative. But then again, if I come with my 5 eagles, his 5 archers aren't going to do a thing, right? So you might as well all in send them to the front. And again, I'm using my eagles here to buy some time for the market. Should have also moved my villagers earlier yet again. So that's a bit of a shame, throwing away 1 villager there. But yeah, these guys are like stormtroopers, right? Like without ballistics and with the slow range they have, they just hit nothing. Absolutely nothing. Wild. Again, like this is costing...
Ladies and gentlemen, today's video is proudly sponsored by absolutely no one. With that out of the way, let's get back into the video and this epic comeback.
But again, he has his archers back at home that he's not doing much with. Again, we try to pressure him off every now and again. We've both clicked up to Castle Age at this point. So that's good, at least we have a similar time here. But we can already see the vill count's quite different, and it will get only worse. So here we commit, right? Here comes the tower. I have committed to not losing access to this gold, because then I think I'm probably toasted. So we're trying to pressure up this tower, and we're cutting it close, let me tell you that. Very close, but we need to use the army here. This is going to be tight. Very tight. But I know the outcome, so we're good here. Trust me, I knew it, calculated. One of them survives, he'll tell others what he has seen today. And that is going to be fine. The tower is up and he retreats a bit. Now, in terms of army count, take a quick look. We're at 2, he's at 12. Obviously, he doesn't have all that information all the time. I'm thinking, okay, he'll just go and hit my wood line with his archers. For some reason, he doesn't even try. So I just switched them over to gold. Because we're going to need it very soon to construct more of these archers.
Eagles.
Now, in a second here, we'll see what happens in Castle Age and who manages to use their uptime better. Because again, the whole point about going up a few seconds earlier than your opponent is to quickly get upgrades in. So here we go, Bowsaw coming in on my side. He's not doing much just yet. He just finished creating a stable, that's interesting. Here comes the second TC from me. As I said, Bowsaw on the way, producing some eagles, villager count going up. Nice. I think he put down the town center to the left there. Yep, and Bowsaw also coming. And he has his 14 archers, crossbow upgrade coming. Yep, that bit he is playing well indeed, and he's going for some pressure. Me, obviously I'm struggling. I'm behind on vills by about 11 now. So all of my upgrades and developments are going to come a bit slower than his. And I'm still struggling to build up some army here. He's going via the right because he obviously knows of the tower. He doesn't know of the second town center coming in. And this, once again, is a real shame. I think there's still a gap, by the way, somewhere. I remember in that game I noticed behind the blacksmith there was a gap. If you haven't watched my video on walling, you should definitely take a look at that. Plenty of gaps to look at. It sounds so wrong. Anyway, otherwise nobody watches the video, right? Here we go. That house should have gone up way earlier. I should have just closed that gap. That was quite silly. But yeah, Captain Hindsight moment. I really like what he's doing here with his scout, by the way. Notice the scout on the top left. Like, he's kind of using it to block off my villages almost. I don't know if that's intentional. I can't imagine it is. But yeah, I was just checking here. I think I don't have eagle upgrades yet. So that's a bit of a problem. Oh no, I did have one. So I have the Castle Age eagle upgrade. We have elite eagles here, I think. So that definitely helps as a bit of a meat shield to avoid getting further snipes. So I think we limit the damage here at 1 or 2 villages total. And yeah, luckily he doesn't know yet that there's a TC, so he kind of runs into it a bit blindly. And this outlines the first kind of problem with his army composition at this point. So he clearly notices now, I have plenty of buildings to defend, right? I have my TCs, I have the tower, I could build another tower. He does need something stronger than archers here. He does need like a stable or a workshop or something. Something to break my building defense structure. Now yet again, I know that I don't want to fight his crossbow army at this point, because I don't have all the upgrades yet that would be necessary. So instead, once again, I'm thinking offense is the best defense. Unfortunately, I do run into some of his archers here, and we play exactly the same game. This is Groundhog Day, right? We have an army that's clearly inferior to his. He has 19 crossbows, and he uses them to chase 7 eagles across the map, by foot. That's quite nuts, right? And this is the only exposure he has, like 4 farms probably. The wood line he could easily evacuate or just close up with a few house walls. But he doesn't. Instead, he runs to the side and chases all my eagles instead of doing damage on the front. With 18 crossbows, he could keep me on my toes quite well, especially given my exposed wood lines. I think he starts to notice now, like, I'm running into absolute no man's land, right? As you can see, he doesn't really know whether my army is going up or down here. I think he just assumed it's going up, or he didn't care anymore, I don't know. So he's switching his army a bit into a more offensive stance again. Meanwhile, I do loop around at the bottom, because again, the same principle applies. My army can't really fight his, so it's gonna be a race who can do more damage to the opponent's eco in the same amount of time. So you can see there at the bottom right, I'm zooming out a lot here just so you can see all the action. I am going in at the bottom right. And by the way, a quick look on resources, right? He's up 2k in resources. My idle eco time is 3 times that of his. It's looking really ugly. It's looking really ugly. And he has a lot of gold banked up. I think he probably has Imperial Age on his mind already, which is maybe a bit early. He could have definitely finished me off in Castle Age here. And this is a shame, right? He notices there's no army in my base, so he must think it's in his. And it is, but it's just standing around. I don't know if you saw there at the bottom. That's where my army is. There was a window probably of 5 to 10 seconds where I could have done quite a bit more damage. But I missed that a little. Funnily enough, he hasn't seen it yet still. So yet he turns around again, right? He's like, nah, nobody here, I'll leave. And boom, there we go. Out of nowhere. Coming here. Oh, the town bell! The town bell! Why on earth would you ring the town bell? That's just mental. By the way, little nugget here. He had 1 crossbow there that was chasing my monk and he ultimately kills it. But anyway, his town bell society has survived my little eagle attack. But already look at the idle eco time. That has almost leveled us. We're just 10 minutes away from each other, which as the game goes on is not a lot. That's got... Oh, no, the town bell! Why? Look at the ladies. They're like, there's a raid going on 5,000 kilometers from here. Yeah, we definitely put down the axe and seek shelter. 100%. It's the same lady earlier who was doing laps around the mining camp. Unbelievable. And by the way, this is a funny thing. Look at the top left here. He rings another town bell. And I zoom in on something else. Why not? These guys don't even care. They're just resting. But what's happening here at the top left, and there we see it. The workers of his that were on the stone were actually called back by the town bell for no good reason at all. And that's why they ran straight into my eagles. I think I also remember in the game itself, I thought I was a genius because I thought I just prevented a forward castle. But I didn't. They were literally just on stone. As I'll find out at some point. But anyway, that reminded me I should probably go on stone. So I dropped down a town center near my stone just to be safe. I know his archers are, you know, they're everywhere, running around, mostly aimlessly, but that's fine. So here we go, we start to mine some stone. I should have probably gone a bit harder on it, while we're still trying to maintain some sort of army. We have a bunch of equals at home. Now this monk is definitely on a mission, and it is a dangerous one. Is he gonna live? Is he gonna live? Oh my god, he lives. Made it. Easy. Wasn't even hard. Gee. Anyway, in our base we now have 17 eagles. That's good. We continue to get upgrades in slowly. We're just missing one of the Castle Age upgrades. And then we're pretty good to go here. And we're also making them more mobile. And again, same story. I know he's standing in front of my base with like 20 archers or so. I know I do not want to fight them currently with my 13 eagles. So instead, I'm trying to loop around. I know I have a solid building defense. I also put down a workshop to the left. Because I think he's not playing super confidently, so I think with a mangonel or two, you can realistically defend against his archers there. And meanwhile, we can do good damage in his base, since it's very open. And since we've seen him use the town bell, I mean, that is just, if you ever see somebody using a town bell, just constantly harass them. They'll immediately fall apart. And this is a big moment, not because the monk dies, but because of this fight that's coming up here. So first of all, we raid his stone supply very well here, and we're happy to commit now. We have the faster eagles now, we have almost all upgrades that we need in Castle Age, so we can pick the fight. Initially I thought this would be an even trade, and we also get all of his villages, so it's worth it. But if you look at the bottom stats, his crossbows are dropping fast. And as with all ranged units, they're usually good in mass, but as soon as you reduce the numbers, like their curve doesn't go like that, it's more of a like a cliff edge type of thing, if they don't have enough projectiles to fire. Now, this is very interesting, like he has clicked with some villager to build a bunch of stables, two of which he deleted now, to do the tech. Oh, another town bell, oh my god, leave me some room here to talk, man. He's put down another two stables which he deleted, one of them we prevented and it's only half finished, so he's clearly starting to go for a tech switch. And that is a good idea, but I think it's coming way too late. And it's going to be difficult doing that while he's going up to Imperial Age. He has a lot of resources, but looking at his production buildings, he's now producing his new technology, knights, out of just one production unit. That is not enough, right? You're working against somebody who's only producing one unit, so all of their production and upgrades are focused on that. You gotta be faster than that. But it's obviously difficult. Again, if we look at the bottom right corner, oh look at this. This ostrich is well pissed off that this mangonel is shooting at its nest. Anyway, back to the action. We're raiding, which is great. His economy is idling big time. He has double the idle eco time that we have right now. And resources are actually on an equal footing now. And if you look at the bill count, we've managed to turn it around. We're up almost 20 bills against his. This mangonel is a proper backstabbing son of a bitch. Like, he just killed two of my eagles. Somebody take care of that mangonel. First the ostrich base, and now my eagles. This is an outrage. Should have never built it. Worst decision ever. You're fired. Anyway. Oh, another town bell! Why even? Where are the eagles? Oh, in the north. Yep, no, that makes sense. Send them all into garrison. Yep, one of the TCs is being attacked. We all die together. Yeah, this is obviously like a common mistake, but you can see how impactful it is, which is why I think it's worth talking about it a lot, because it's literally make or break for his game. It is what kills all of his resource time. Again, just check out the idle eco at the bottom right. It's quite wild. And we're ahead 500, no, even more, 600 points by now, 700. It's going up quickly. Another town bell, way. Yeah, this is wild. You have no chance. If you keep ringing the town bell, you have no chance of really coming back. And it just makes raiding ever so much more powerful. It's already a powerful tool in late game anyway. But, yeah, if you do that, that's even worse. Oh, here we go. A knight in shining armor. Prince Charming is coming to destroy the AI-controlled mangonel. The ostrich must be well happy about that. Oh, look at that. It bows. Thank you, knight. Thank you. Lovely. Love to see it. Alright, back into the action. A town hall. Oh my god. This is like... What are we at now? 8 or so? I'll put a counter in. Just to get the facts right. And yeah, just to point out on his tech switch again. So, he's fighting against the single unit setup. We have all of our Castle Age upgrades. We're clicking up to Imp now. He's in Imperial Age already. But he has not done, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he has done a single Imperial Age tech yet. And he's been in Imperial Age for 5 minutes. He's spent resources on it that probably equate to like, I don't know, 15 knights or so. And that is just that's a humongous waste, right? There's no good reason to do it. That's why his economy has suffered so much. With a bunch of knights, he could have defended all of that, wouldn't have lost all the vills, and he could still go up to Imperial Age now when I'm going up as well. and then make use of all the advantages. This way he might as well have been in Castle Age the whole time and have had more units. So we continue raiding, because, man, it's working. So we continue doing it, never change a winning system. And we have enough stone to now put a forward castle. The first one had to be defensive. We now find out he has a castle here already, so we obviously cancel that and we put it more defensively, and also in a position so his knights can't get to my workers easily in case he has more. We obviously don't know how many he has. He's also getting Chevalier upgrades now. That's a good shout. But again, look at his blacksmith upgrades. He hasn't got the upgrades yet to make his knights powerful enough to actually work against my eagles. And meanwhile, while all of this is happening, we continue the raid. This game is pretty much over. And I have a lot of knowledge on what's going on the map, obviously, because I'm constantly pressuring him. That's another great advantage of being on the front foot. And another town bell. Way-ho! There we go. This is... I should relabel this video to why to not ring the town bell. Anyway, the game continues. We've just hit Imperial Age now. I think we're going to start pumping out trebs. Yep, using the market here to balance out some of our eco. And getting out a bunch of trebs. I think in a minute we're also going to get the ultimate upgrade for our eagles to really put the nail in the coffin. That said, he has a bit of a breather here. Not bad. I think he's keeping the knights at home, again, to avoid me raiding further. I think, once more, if he just garrisoned the people around his individual... I think the town bell just... The hotkey got a life of its own. It's just triggering per default now every 30 seconds or so. That's pretty good. Yeah, he's keeping the knights at home here, I think, just for defensive reasons. No good reason. He should be doing something with them, because he's on the back foot now. So he has to use every advantage he can get, and he should try and counter-raid. And even if it's just with 2 knights, or 2 chevaliers here, even if it's just that... It's not chevaliers, by the way, it's cavalier. Who told me chevalier? I need to have a word. Anyway, the cavaliers here do a good job at cleaning up the trebs, but they ultimately lose the fight against the eagles. So as soon as that treb went down, he should have just sent them away. Again, he's got the mobility, he can easily do some raids here, and 2 cavaliers are more than enough to raid a wood line, for example. He can still keep like 80% of his army at home to protect, but he needs to do damage. It's the only way. And yeah, we see here another trap comes out from my side. His 30C is just completely inactive, dominated by one fierce eagle chopping away at the flowers. Yeah, that would demotivate me as well. I think that's a GG moment right there. Like, if an eagle destroys your flower bed, that's kind of it. Yeah, and we're overrunning him here. That treb has no chance, and very soon we would have torn down that castle. His population count is down to 56 versus 154 on our side. This game has completely flipped, and this is why it's a fantastic comeback and a good example of why never give up. And here's the GG. Let's head into the statistics real briefly. And look at that block in the middle. That was the whole time when he had his archers, but he was missing siege units or anything that could do damage. This graph pretty much reflects exactly the same. And it also shows, like, when my unit count dropped a bit, how fast we can build it back up, because we have the economy, which he didn't. And yeah, this 6-minute Imperial Age lead that he had just was completely worthless, and was quite painful for him. Here's the map again. Yeah, a very good game and a very great example why you never resign and you always keep going, because why not? Especially at mid-elo level, there's always a good chance that your opponent makes some mistake later on. So always persevere. This is the video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it interesting again. And we'll do more of it in the coming weeks. And I hope you have a lovely start into the Christmas season, which is when this video came out. And I'll see you around next time. Have a good one.